In the ever-evolving American legal landscape, few figures have become as synonymous with accountability and reform as New York Attorney General Letitia James. Known for her relentless pursuit of justice, James has not only made history with her achievements, but also put herself directly in the path of former President Donald Trump, a move that has brought both acclaim and intense scrutiny. As James navigates the high-stakes, high-visibility arena of Trump's legal entanglements, she has come to symbolize a critical moment in American jurisprudence, where the power of state law challenges the might of a former U.S. president. This video provides an extensive look into her journey, methods, and the broader impact of her legal battles on both her career and the American political landscape. Letitia James, a career built on resilience and reform. To understand the force that James has become, it's essential to examine her roots and early career. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, James witnessed firsthand the disparities in her community and resolved to make a difference. She started her career in public defense, advocating for underprivileged communities, a foundation that shaped her perspective on justice and equity. From there, James served as a public advocate and council member, fighting for fair housing, corporate accountability, and healthcare access. These early experiences equipped her with both the skills and drive to take on larger roles, leading to her historic election as New York Attorney General in 2018. Her ascent to power was unprecedented. As the first African-American woman to hold the role, James carried a sense of responsibility not only to her constituents, but also to communities of color nationwide. She has stated that her motivation stems from a desire to protect the most vulnerable, a principle that resonates in her aggressive legal pursuits against corporate giants, corrupt officials, and now, Donald Trump. This unique background and commitment to justice have defined James' approach, driving her to pursue cases others might shy away from, demonstrating the potential of state-level legal power to influence national discourse. The foundation of her legal crusade, New York's fraud laws. One of the pillars of James' legal prowess lies in her strategic use of New York's extensive and stringent fraud laws. These statutes provide her with a powerful toolkit to investigate financial misconduct, pursue cases involving misrepresentation, and hold both corporations and individuals accountable. While federal regulations also govern corporate fraud, New York's laws afford the Attorney General unique latitude to probe the practices of businesses that operate within its borders, a scope that has been particularly significant in her case against Trump. The legal battles between James and Trump primarily involve allegations of inflated property valuations and deceptive tax filings by the Trump Organization, a case emblematic of her dedication to using state resources to their fullest extent. James has argued that Trump manipulated asset values to secure favorable loans and insurance policies while lowering values for tax advantages, creating a distorted and misleading financial record. This approach not only demonstrates her ability to pinpoint potential fraud, but also showcases her broader commitment to transparency, especially when it involves public figures and officials. For James, these legal efforts serve as more than simply holding one man accountable. Her objective is to set a precedent, underscoring that regardless of status, financial manipulation and dishonesty will be met with due consequence. By targeting Trump's business practices, James is sending a clear message to corporate America that financial misrepresentation, no matter how deeply ingrained, is not above the law. The $450 million fraud judgment, a watershed moment. James' $450 million judgment against Trump has arguably been the crowning achievement of her legal campaigns so far. This high-profile case, which centers on alleged fraud within the Trump Organization, had been building for years as James' team meticulously gathered evidence, testimonies, and documents to substantiate claims of deceptive business practices. The court's ruling in her favor marks a seismic shift, not only for Trump's business empire but also for James' reputation as a champion of justice. This case represented more than just a substantial financial penalty. It showcased the breadth of James' legal influence and the intensity of her focus. Her arguments highlighted patterns of financial manipulation, echoing broader concerns about corporate transparency and financial accountability in America. For her supporters, this victory reinforced James' role as a staunch defender of lawful business practices, particularly when it comes to high-profile entities with extensive resources. The judgment was celebrated by many in the legal and political community as a necessary check on Trump's influence, setting a precedent for future cases involving public figures and financial malfeasance. However, it also exposed James to criticism from Trump's supporters, who argue that the case was politically motivated. Nonetheless, James has remained steadfast, insisting that her actions are guided solely by the principles of justice and fairness, a stance that has only strengthened her resolve as she continues to take on cases of national importance. Strategic alliances and national coordination. Another remarkable aspect of James' approach is her collaboration with other Democratic-led states, a coordinated effort that amplifies her influence beyond New York. By forging alliances with attorneys general from states like California, Illinois, and Massachusetts, James has created a formidable coalition committed to upholding the rule of law against what many perceive as a troubling pattern of corporate and political impropriety. This strategic network allows her to pool resources, share information, and build stronger cases with a unified front. James' approach has sparked what some analysts call a blue wall against Trump and similar figures. These Democratic-led states, where governors, attorneys general, and legislative bodies are aligned, act as a collective bulwark. Their combined resources and political support provide these states with a powerful platform from which to challenge federal policies or individuals that may otherwise go unchecked. This alliance, of which James is a leading figure, symbolizes a significant pushback against conservative policies and emboldens states to pursue justice without the limitations imposed by federal reluctance. The Freedom Initiative, protecting New York's progressive values. In alignment with Governor Kathy Hochul's Freedom Initiative, James has committed to defending New York's values and residents from policy changes at the federal level that could threaten individual freedoms and rights. This program, a multifaceted defense mechanism, represents a proactive approach to anticipated legal and social challenges, particularly as Trump and his allies consider future political moves. The Freedom Initiative includes measures to protect reproductive rights, voting access, and immigrant protections, all of which James has vocally supported. In many ways, this initiative broadens James' influence, allowing her to act not just as a litigator, but as a key advocate for preserving civil liberties. Her participation underscores her belief that state governments have a vital role to play in counteracting federal overreach and safeguarding progressivism in the face of potential regressions under conservative administrations. A symbol of accountability in the eyes of the public. James' steadfast determination to hold Trump accountable has earned her a significant following among progressive voters and legal advocates who view her as a symbol of judicial resilience. Her public persona, grounded in her identity as a Black woman unafraid to challenge powerful men, adds an additional layer of symbolism to her actions. For many, James represents a progressive shift in American politics, where women and people of color increasingly lead the charge for reform. However, James' prominence has also made her a target. Trump and his supporters often characterize her as a politically motivated adversary, questioning her intentions and attempting to undermine her credibility. These accusations have only intensified as James continues to pursue cases against Trump, with detractors alleging that her investigations are aimed at diminishing his political prospects. Nevertheless, James has remained focused on her mission, underscoring her commitment to justice over partisanship. The broader implications of James' work. The ongoing legal battles between James and Trump have far-reaching implications, both for New York and the nation as a whole. As state-level leaders like James continue to hold powerful figures accountable, they redefine the role of the Attorney General and demonstrate the potential of state law as a counterbalance to federal power. This trend could influence future generations of legal professionals and elected officials, showing them that the rule of law applies universally, even to the most high-profile public figures. For Trump, the consequences of James' work are deeply personal. Her victories against him, both financial and symbolic, cast a long shadow over his legacy and potentially influence public perception. The legal precedents set by these cases could have lasting effects, providing a roadmap for holding other powerful figures accountable and further fortifying the importance of state attorneys general in the national legal landscape. Letitia James has become a pivotal figure in America's legal battles, embodying the resilience of state law in the face of federal dominance. Her work against Trump exemplifies the importance of an independent judiciary and underscores the power of state officials to pursue justice, even when it involves the country's most influential figures. As she continues her work, James solidifies her legacy as a pioneer of modern legal activism, using her platform to protect the rights of her constituents and hold the powerful accountable. James' story is one of determination, courage, and an unwavering commitment to justice. In her eyes, the stakes go beyond any single case. They involve the very foundation of democratic integrity and accountability. As she presses forward, Letitia James stands as a formidable force in American politics, reminding all that in the pursuit of justice, there are no untouchables.